I wanna dance. I whined as she laced her fingers through mine. I hadn't danced all night and now I finally had the confidence to do so. You can dance in here, she whispered as we walked through the blacked-out door. He was here. I didn't have to look for him, I could feel him. No, I didn't want him to be here. I was afraid of how I'd react. Don't worry about him, Lacey whispered. He'll come to you. Pushing me towards the bar, I frowned. I didn't want him to come to me. I wanted him to stay as far away from me as possible. Lies. After we had been served and done a sneaky shot at the bar, we walked towards the booth. Him and a few guys were sitting in. At least I recognized Jack. Do we have to sit there? I groaned. I knew he was watching me, but I wasn't looking up. I wasn't giving him the satisfaction. Best seat in the house. Lacey shrugged as we reached the booth. She automatically went straight for Jack, taking a seat in his lap. The only seat available was next to Jake and I wasn't taking it. I stood awkwardly at the edge of the booth. I refused to move. It was like they had planned for this to happen. More and more people started to join us, which meant less space was becoming available. Still, the seat next to him was free. Why wasn't anyone taking that seat? Looking out onto the dance floor, I sunk my teeth into my bottom lip. It was packed and I wanted to be in between it. Finishing off my drink, I grinned when Sean Desmond's Sexy came pumping through the speakers. I love this song. I recognized the guy it came from. He was in my kitchen this morning. Placing my bag down, I slipped off my jacket and held out my hand. Let's dance then. I grinned. Oh, I can't. Scratching the back of his head, he looked to his left. Yeah, I didn't need to ask who he was looking at. You're lost then. Turning my back on him and the rest of them, I danced my way onto the dance floor. Dancing through the crowd, I found a space and let the music take over. Closing my eyes, I ran my hands through my hair, my hips working the beat. I didn't care that I was dancing on my own. I felt free, I felt sexy. And I didn't care who was watching. As soon as I felt the hands on my hips, my eyes opened. The guy grinned at me. He didn't want to touch me, he wanted to dance with me. So I let him. With my hands I motioned, he moved back. Turning around, I dropped down in front of him. Running my hands over the top half of my body, I threw my arms up. He took my hands, pulling me to my feet. Spinning me around, I inched closer to him. Our hips moved together. With my hand on his chest, I moved him back. Turning around, I rocked my hips, taking myself to the floor. I grabbed the back of his legs. I didn't realize I had caught the attention of others on the dance floor. Spinning my head, I slid forward, the front of my body connecting with the floor. Lifting my bum in the air, I fell into a split. I couldn't help but smirk at the crowd that was gathering around us. Bringing my legs together, I held my hand out for him to grab, and he did. Pulling me up, I rocked closer to him. I was too caught up in the music, too caught up on the dancing to realize what was going on. The crowd parted like the Red Sea. I stopped moving. The song playing, suddenly forgotten about. Grabbing a hold of the guy I was dancing with, I pushed him behind me. That hunk of meat your boyfriend, he whispered in my ear. Knew you'd have a hottie here as soon as your little ass hit the dance floor. He's smoking, he whispered. I'm Jordan. He grinned as Jake was fast approaching. Leah. Swallowing the lump in my throat, I had no idea what was about to happen. He wasn't happy. His hands were balled into fists and his teeth were clenched. This reminded me of what happened earlier today. He stood directly in front of me, but he was glaring at Jordan. He had no right. He wasn't my boyfriend, he didn't get a say in who I danced with. Move. He growled, causing the hairs on my arms to stand. Jordan decided to take it upon himself and take the lead on this one, and I didn't know if he was going to walk out of here in one piece. Your hot little girlfriend has some moves on her. Oh God, he was trying to get himself killed. Nostrils flaring, he took a step closer. Wow, hot stuff, I don't need you busting up this beautiful face. Back off, macho man, I ain't interested in your girl. More chance of me trying to take you home. He winked and I laughed. Jake's reaction was priceless.